and experience the very closing ceremony of this brilliant 4 days conference. I cannot quite believe that the 4 days are coming to an end. They are in a sense, yet even after the closing ceremony, there are sessions in different venues, workshops. Everything's on your agenda. There's a concert, which I will also remind you about, at the Lukiškių kalėjimas tonight. It's open for everyone to attend if you're staying in Vilnius. Focus on what's right and wrong, greater solidarity, stronger movements, optimism that comes with youth, multi-stakeholder approaches to addressing corruption. These are just some of the takeaways that I've noted while this last panel was going on. There are other closing remarks and summarizing closing speeches that we will now hear, and I'm trying to speak for longer so that more of the people do gather here, because there are still more and more people coming, and that's really lovely to see so many of you, probably nearly as many as during the opening ceremony now, so that makes us really excited. We will begin the closing ceremony now, and the ceremony will consist of, first of all, speeches. I would like to invite on stage advisor to the President of the Republic of Lithuania, Mr. Darius Urbonas. Let's welcome him on stage.
Here, oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and dedicated participants, and I would like to add the most faithful and perseverance participants of the International Anti-Corruption Conference. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda, I would like to congratulate the IACC Council, Transparency International and its national chapter, and the main hosts, the Special Investigation Service of the Republic of Lithuania, for the great success of this year's event. May we applaud them warmly. With more than 500 speakers, more than 100 sessions and workshops, and thousands of participants from around the world, it has once again demonstrated the deep commitment of the global democratic community to fight corruption worldwide. This week, we have been engaged in meaningful discussions on trust and transparency. We have reviewed the current state of anti-corruption efforts globally, paying special attention to the emerging challenges, in particular these who threaten the basic human rights and livelihoods of millions of innocent people. Yet, even in the face of these difficulties, there is a ray of hope. We have the opportunity to dismantle corrupt systems, providing a fresh era of transparency and responsibility to people around the world. For this, a truly global ethical economy is needed more than ever. Our discussions on business integrity and ethical leadership have shown a path forward that prioritizes sustainability and fairness over short-term gains. It is also crucially important for us to acknowledge and address the powerful impact of corruption on democracy and human rights. Too often, we witness corruption destroying justice, equality, and freedom. To avoid that, we must stay true to our values. And we must confront our nightmares so that they do not come true. I believe that our plenary discussions, workshops, and meetings have been instrumental in shaping our understanding of the challenges ahead. We were also able to come up with actions we must take to combat the pervasive threat of corruption. Overall, all these discussions highlighted our need for collaboration and determination. As we wrap up this conference, let us remember that fighting corruption is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires all of us to stay committed and determined. In the heart of Lithuania, in Vilnius, where past meets the present, we see that the battle against corruption is first and foremost about determined people who are eager to build a better future on the solid foundations of transparency and accountability. That means we should all be the agents for change, the ones who kickstart progress and the guardians of a better world. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all the participants and organizers who have made this conference a resounding success. By working together, we have collectively achieved a significant milestone in our global efforts to combat corruption. Thank you to all for your priceless contributions, dedication, and shared goal for a future built on integrity. Safe travel back home, and may we meet again to build a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Urbonas. The next person I'm going to call now, the last time I saw him was during the opening. That means that there were so many events going on, that everyone was so busy and so spread around, and that just proves that the conference is of such gratitude, such a big, grand scale. So I would like to invite on stage Chair of Transparency International, François Valérian.
Mr. Advisor to the President of the Republic of Lithuania, Mr. Chair of the International Anti-Corruption Conference Council, dear Rueben, dear friends, the last day of an intense four-day conference has to be a day of thanks. And I would like to first thank those of you who do not belong to Transparency International, but share our fight against abuse of entrusted power. Thank you for having spent this week with us. Thank you for fighting with us. And among those who do not belong to Transparency International, there are special individuals whom I would like to particularly thank. Dear Linas Pernavas, on Tuesday this week, just before the opening ceremony, you told me that you were not entirely sure that everything would go well. This conference went perfectly. Thanks. Thanks to you and to the high professionalism and efficiency of your colleagues from Lithuania Special Investigation Service and from the government of Lithuania. This conference went perfectly well also, thanks to the dedication of the IACC Council, chaired by Rueben Lifuka, and, as always, thanks to Transparency International's IACC team, led by Roberto Perez Rocha, with Paola O'Malley and Patricia Cobos-Poveda. Also thanks to Matthew King and our Transparency International Secretariat colleagues here and in Berlin under Daniel Ericsson's leadership. I would like to also thank our more than 70 Transparency International chapters, which came over here, and our host chapter, TI Lithuania, under the leadership of Ingrida Kalinauskiene. I would like to thank all the members of the International Board of Transparency International, all here, and I would like to thank our brilliant and passionate Vice Chair of Transparency International, Ketakandriana Rafitoson. Last but not least, I would like to thank my predecessors who are here. Peter Eigen, our founder. Please, Peter, stand up. Huguette Labelle, who taught me everything. And José Ugaz. Not forgetting Delia Ferreira Rubio, who couldn't come and has brought so much to our movement. So, at the end of those 4 days of interactions, discussions, exchanges, it is impossible to try to sum up all the stories that we've listened to and discussed. But one thing is for sure. We all fight against greed. We all fight against secrecy. We all fight against violence. We fight against the greed of the political or business leaders who plunder common goods. We fight against the secrecy they hide behind. We fight against the violence many of them use when they are exposed. Therefore, on our way back home, tonight or tomorrow, our mission, behind continuing to talk to each other, is to reach out to those who were not here with us, to the ministers and chief executive officers who think or pretend that they have solved the corruption problem because they have some institutions and policies more or less in place, who may have sent some of you over here, and that's very fine, but never, ever they will harm a diplomatic or commercial relationship because the counterpart is corrupt. We need to mobilize them in our fight, which is a fight for dignity, a fight for freedom, a fight for peace, a fight for the planet. But in times of generalized abuse of power, in times of bitter political confrontation, in times of wars, war in Ukraine, war in Gaza, which we do not want to forget, war in other countries. In those terrible times, quite a few of us may wonder, yes, we are in a fight against the corrupt, but who will win? We will win For one, we will win. For one simple reason. We are united, they are divided. The corrupt may, at times, join forces for practical reasons, but fundamentally, they are competing one against the other for the same budget, the same contract, the same country. We are united behind the noble cause of common good. They are divided in their evil search for abusive private profits. And the question for us is to know what their strength is. Their strength is use and abuse of violence. And that is a terrible strength against those who have the courage to resist them. But courage for common good always, ultimately, prevail. And if there is one image that I will bring back home with me after this conference, it is the face of a young woman. She spoke to us. She was not here. She had recorded a video message in a friend's house in Baku, Azerbaijan. Her parents do not have access to medical care, although they were beaten and jailed because they are fighting against corruption. And this young woman does not give up, nor do give up her brother and her parents. And we only have our words to defend them, but we used our words, and we will keep using them. And words used for common good, those words remain. And when they are heard all the time and everywhere, one day they win. Thank you all for this week.
Thank you so very much. I would like to now invite on stage the head of STT, Director of Special Investigation Services of Lithuania, Mr. Linas Pernavas.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, dedicated participants, dear colleagues, and finally, after this week, dear friends, as this International Anti-Corruption Conference draws to a close, I am filled with a deep sense of gratitude and inspiration. Over the last few days, we have actively participated in stimulating discussions, exchange valuable insights, and establish genuine connections, all as part of our shared mission to create a world that has much less corruption. I'm immensely proud of the commitment and passion that each and every one of you has shown in addressing this critical issue that affects societies all over the world. It is truly inspiring to witness your dedication to transparency, integrity, and accountability. As I stand here before you today, I would like to express my overwhelming gratitude and deep admiration for the exceptional work that has been accomplished. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to our speakers, moderators, sponsors, organizers, interpreters, technical staffs, and all participants for making this conference a reality. Your contributions have been instrumental in shaping the discussions and outcomes of this event. I kindly ask Darius Urbonas, advisor to the President of Lithuania, to convey our gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda, who supported this initiative from the outset. Let me also thank Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė and the government of the Republic of Lithuania for supporting our discussions and providing needed resources for this conference. May I also express my sincere gratitude to Rueben Lifuka, the chair of the IACC Council, and other members of the Council for trusting Lithuania to host this conference, as well as working together to shape the agenda of the event. I also send my deep appreciation to François Valérian and Daniel Eriksson, the chair and the CEO of Transparency International, respectively. Your leadership and vision have been instrumental in bringing together this diverse group of stakeholders to collaborate and exchange ideas on such a crucial issue. My heartfelt appreciation goes to Roberto Perez Rocha, Paula O'Malley, Patricia Cobas Poveda, and other organizing counterparts from the Transparency International Secretariat for their dedication in coordinating this 21st International Anti-Corruption Conference. I know that there have been plenty of challenges for the organizing team, but all of them have been successfully resolved. To all participants of the plenary sessions and workshops, I'm truly humbled by your active engagement, your contributions and your commitment to the cause of anti-corruption. Your diverse perspectives, expertise, and dedication have enriched our discussions and inspired us all to strive for a more transparent and just world. And finally, I want to express my deepest gratitude to my Lithuanian counterparts and all the organizing team who have played a crucial role in this IACC and have been incredible partners in our collaborative efforts. As we conclude this conference, let us carry forward the spirit of collaboration, innovation, and solidarity that has defined our time together. Let us continue to work together towards a future free from corruption, where justice, accountability, and ethical governance prevail. Today, we shall depart with a renewed sense of purpose and shared commitment to fostering positive change within our communities. Through our collective efforts, we can establish a world where integrity is the norm, trust is reinstated, and transparency becomes a guiding principle. Once again, thank you all for making this International Anti-Conference a success. And finally, I also hope that you haven't fallen in love with our city and our culture. Please enjoy your remaining stay here in Vilnius, and let me wish you safe travels. I look forward to meeting again soon to continue our important work in the ongoing fight against corruption. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for so many thank yous, and I do have a feeling that thank yous will continue for a little bit. And I would like to invite on stage Executive Director of Transparency International Lithuania, Ingrida Kalinauskiene.
ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues. As our time together comes to a close at the International Anti-Corruption Conference, I would like to express my deepest gratitude, as all the previous speakers already did, to each and every one of you. Your presence, your insights, and your dedication have made this gathering a resounding success. Over the past 4 days, we have engaged in thought-provoking discussions, exchanged innovative ideas, and forged new connections. As we reflect on our discussions, one theme stands out, which is the importance of elevating the work of leaders with energy, integrity, and passion. Precisely because of this reason, I'm extremely happy that since yesterday, more than 100 leaders from 50 countries worldwide came to Vilnius to attend the Transparency International School on Integrity and have actively joined the IACC discussions, many of them for the first time ever. This alumni network of more than 2,000 leaders from over 120 countries worldwide definitely serves as a source of inspiration for our team in Vilnius and greatly emphasizes the need to invest in anti-corruption education through practice. Lastly, I think it's important to emphasize that collaborative action is the key to success. We all come from very different walks of life: private sector, public sector, NGOs, academia. Only when working together we can make a difference. Thank you once again for your participation, your contributions, and your commitment. I wish you all safe travels and success in your future endeavors. Let us stay connected, support each other, and keep the spirit of conference active alive, keep the spirit of this conference alive in our ongoing work. And during the opening speech, I taught some Lithuanian language to all of you, so I hope that you will remember this one word which summarizes my closing speech, which is ačiū. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ingrida. Just to reiterate, ačiū is the word for thank you in Lithuanian. That's just in case you need it for the remaining days you have in this country. I will invite now on stage someone who's been on this very stage many times already, and every time he was both deep and insightful and funny all at the same time. It is my pleasure to invite on stage back again the Chair of the Council, Rueben Lifuka.
Thank you very much. I was hoping, Ingrida, you would also teach us the words for saying we are staying in Vilnius, but you've just taught us how to say ačiū. But distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the final day of ICC 2024. And as we do that, we take brief stock of what has arguably been one of the best attended IACC in many years. Undoubtedly, all delegates will leave this event with one or two memories that will remind them of the deep conversations, the networking, the joint learning, the renewal of friendships, the establishment of new professional connections, the camaraderie that has characterized this conference. It was great to see government officials and private sector delegates sharing a cup of tea in the various areas of this conference site. CSO leaders sharing platforms with academia, business persons, and young activists on critical matters of corruption. We listened to music and watched movies. I remember on the first day, the opening song, I could feel the beat in my heart. I went back, Ingrida, to my room, and I was reminded that in the 80s, I was very good with my dance moves. If it was not for my strict parents, I probably would have been a professional disco dancer, and I would know nothing about fighting corruption. It was uplifting to hear the laughter and the warm banter as people positioned themselves to take photos and keep memories of this reunion. This premier gathering of experts and interested stakeholders provided enough for everyone. It was inspiring to hear young professionals speak with clarity, candor, and conviction on panel discussions as well as plenaries. Further, it was absolutely heartwarming to get feedback from first-timers to the IACC who found the agenda and the discussions illuminating and insightful. It was our fervent desire as a council to get a rich diversity of experts, reformers, professionals, and visionaries in one place to work on common problems. We believe that this and much more has been achieved. Vilnius, Lithuania has proved to be the city where dreams are made or renewed and passions for a corrupt-free world rekindled. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, all of us here in one way or another represent the aspirations of millions of people who would like to see corruption urgently tackled. And it will be a travesty if we return home and do nothing with the rich knowledge, insights, and skills gained from this conference. From what we have heard and sensed, there are a number of important takeaways from the many enriching discussions and events. And it is our expectation, therefore, that post the IACC 2024, there will be further collaboration, partnerships to address some of the pertinent corruption challenges. We look forward to learning in the near future of joint actions between civil society, government, and the business sector, of collaborative research opportunities that have been pursued, just like new innovations that will be celebrated. IACC 2024 should be a springboard for further dialogue and upscaling of efforts to confront various global threats. The positive results from this conference should be manifested in the post-conference activities that will follow. This is our call to action for you, our distinguished delegates. IACC 2024 is a product of the efforts of many stakeholders, and it is important that we acknowledge and express our gratitude to those that have made this event possible. The government of Lithuania, who more than 2 years ago graciously indicated its interest to host this conference in Vilnius, deserves special mention and commendation. The leadership's commitment to continuously undertake governance reforms, which include anti-corruption reforms, is well appreciated, and hosting this conference in Lithuania is a testament to that commitment. We pay special tribute to the Republican President and the Prime Minister and senior government officials who took keen interest and participated in this conference. Our stay here and the successful holding of IACC 2024 would not have been possible without the excellent Special Investigation Services team, who have been exceptional and meticulous in planning the logistical setup of what is one of the largest IACC held in the last couple of years. In December 2022, in Washington, D.C., we had a meeting with the STT team to basically finalize the deal for Lithuania hosting this event. And as we waited in the boardroom under the able leadership of my chair, Huguette Labelle, 3 or 4 men, I can't remember now, walked in, and I could immediately tell these were law enforcement officers. Serious and businesslike. I began to sweat a bit, but I told myself I've done nothing wrong, and the only possible theft I can remember was taking a couple of spoonfuls of powdered milk from my mother's kitchen. And such a case is definitely statute barred 10 times over in all jurisdictions. This has been a job well done with great professionalism, and to each one of the STT members under the leadership of Linas, you should all be proud of what you have achieved. The spacious venue, the catering, the meals, the transportation, the technology support have all been excellent. I was telling my brother and friend, Jesse Walimuna, that we are lucky that airlines do not weigh passengers at check-in. Otherwise, with the 4 days of good food, the excess weight will not be in the luggage, but in the bodies. Our local chapter, Transparency International Lithuania, had the foresight to start lobbying for the government to consider hosting this event. We thank you for what you have done and continue to do in the furtherance of the cause of anti-corruption. Your innovation, leadership, commitment is worthy of our commendations. We also take the opportunity to thank the speakers, the panelists, the master of ceremony. She's done a great job. Thank you very much. We thank the moderators, the organizers of workshops, the translators, the volunteers, the technology team, who all helped us have a worthwhile event. Let me also thank the very wise men and women that make up the IACC Council, who have spent many hours in meetings over the last 18 months preparing the technical content of the conference and also attending to other policy issues. I know I didn't tell them this, but that's my nature. I'll catch them by surprise. I recognize and acknowledge the Council Vice Chair, Sir Anand Satyan. Sir Anand, we may stand, they'll see you. Dr. Klaus Musmeyer, if you are here, Professor Tuli Madonsela. Dr. Klaus is at the back. Professor Tuli Madonsela. Professor Jesse Welimuna. Ms. Marina Walker-Govara is not here, but we thank her. And Mr. Rajiv Josh. Where's Rajiv? He's a busy man, so he must be somewhere. You have been an exceptional and wonderful team to work with. I simply want to thank the IACC team, as it has been said, Roberto, Paula, Patricia. Where are they? They've worked under intense pressure. They've worked under intense pressure for months, organizing the calls for workshops, design of plenary sessions, calling speakers, arranging for logistics, liaising with the SCT team. You have done us proud. Thank you, Roberto and team. The TI leadership, as it has been said, the leadership, the management and staff have all been our great supporters and have worked closely with us and would not have this IACC without your support. Francois K., Daniel and your team, we thank you more sincerely for the confidence and trust in the IACC Council. On a personal note, let me also thank Alina Bokova. She doesn't know I was going to do that. Alina, please stand. Alina is the governance officer with TIS, and she was assigned to be my assistant during these 4 days. I can assure you my schedule was under lock and key. It was very difficult to get any appointment with Alina. She was managing a very tight schedule. But I want to also take opportunity to thank someone who essentially started this process of talking about IACC in Lithuania and provided leadership. Again, I take the liberty, she has no idea I'm going to do this, but this is one person who we call a giant on whom we stand on. She provided a lot of guidance, and she's my mentor insofar as matters of IACC and anti-corruption work is concerned. My fearless leader, Dr. Iget Labelle, we thank you, and I'd like to ask you to come up. We thank you for your service. We'd like you to come up, Dr. Labelle. For all the many years that you've done this work for us, we have a small token to just appreciate you. A few flowers to take all the way to Canada. Madame. To the participants, I was just trying to imagine not having such an important IACC without engaged participants like yourself. It would not fly. It would be a non-starter. You have been exceptional. I've watched you as you engage, whether it is in the lunch area, in your panel discussions. You have been dedicated, you've been committed. This is what makes the IACC to be a premier event. Thank you very much for taking time to be with us for 4 days. Even on the last day, we still have the numbers. We thank you and we hope you continue to support this IACC and use it as a platform to share knowledge, to learn from one another, and essentially to motivate ourselves to do the best that we can for the world. On to IACC 2026. One of the most common questions that I've encountered in the last few days is, where is the next IACC going to be held? Well, let's just start with the basics. We are definitely going to have an IACC in 2026. But we are not yet at a point where we can announce where this will be. We have received expressions of interest from potential host countries, and the IACC Council will engage and employ the usual standard due diligence process, and followed by discussions with the potential host countries. And it is our plan that to make the announcement by the end of the third quarter of 2024. Be rest assured, it will be yet another successful IACC, and we'll plan well for this one as well. As we head back to our respective homes, I wish you safe travels, and I urge you to continue standing up for integrity if we are to confront the many global threats in our world. Thank you very much. May I now call upon two young people that have been assigned to read the Vilnius Declaration. Thereafter, I will seek for your endorsement of the declaration, and we could then officially close. Please come through. A big round of applause for them.
In June 2024, over 2,000 people from more than 140 countries working across a wide range of sectors convened in person in Lithuania to participate in the 21st International Anti-Corruption Conference. We gathered with a shared sense of urgency and a commitment to work together to address pressing global threats which are exacerbated by corruption, to uphold integrity, and to secure a just, peaceful, and sustainable future for all.
We came together in Vilnius at a time when our global community faces unprecedented challenges, from escalating conflicts and environmental crises to the erosion of democracy, shared values, and human rights. Recognizing the pervasive influence of corruption in this crisis, we reaffirm our dedication to combating corruption as central to our common future.
At the 20th International Anti-Corruption Conference in Washington, D.C., USA, in 2022, we concluded that fighting corruption is vital to defending democratic values and global security. We underscored the need to restore trust in institutions, protect those fighting corruption, address corruption which harms the environment, and tackle human trafficking and organized crime. The Washington Declaration emphasized that only through transparency, accountability, and collective action can we overcome corruption and safeguard democracy.
In these tumultuous times, as corruption's tentacles stretch across the globe, the stakes have never been higher. The very fabric of our societies is at risk, with integrity under relentless assault from adversaries who exploit chaos and impunity of the powerful. The urgency of our mission have never been greater. We must rise together, united and strong, to defend all those who stand against corruption and for integrity.
Amid these profound challenges, our unity, purpose, determination continue to encourage countless people to join our fight to maintain the moral compass of our society and to devise new strategies to combat those who are corrupt. Inspired by this year's conference theme, Confronting Global Threats, Standing Up for Integrity, we therefore pledge to
defend the defenders. In a world where corruption tears apart the fabric of society, brave individuals and groups step forward to defend integrity and confront the forces of corruption. We agree to honor the champions of integrity and reward their determination in the face of danger by protecting them against formidable adversaries. Governments, civil society, and international bodies must strengthen laws, networks, and strategies to further support and protect whistleblowers and all those who defend integrity, regardless of background, taking into account gender, race, age, religion, income, and all dimensions of corruption.
Target environmental crimes. Greed and corruption are at the root of a broken economic paradigm and the associated environmental crimes, which have accelerated the climate change, biodiversity loss, and a collapse of the ecosystems on which all life depends. Catastrophic weather events in recent years are looming, warning of what is to come. We call on governments, businesses, and civil society to decisively fight corruption in climate finance projects and to fight crimes against our environment with the goal of preventing global environmental catastrophes and accelerating a just transition from an economy rooted in extraction and exploitation to one based on regeneration and restoration.
Stop kleptocrats, criminals, traffickers, and their accomplices. Corrupt networks benefit from the failure of reforms and the capture of democratic institutions and states. We call upon all to join hands to dismantle this global enterprise. Let us uncover and learn from their strategies, address failures in anti-corruption reforms, ensure agile responses, and presumptive improvements that deliver breakthroughs in joint efforts against this dark criminal network, putting perpetrators on the defensive.
Prevent global insecurity and violent conflicts. Preventing corruption will also minimize global insecurity, violence, and conflict, since they are deeply interconnected. Violent conflicts and crises benefit kleptocrats and their accomplices, creating chaos which acts as a cover for corruption and cause immeasurable harm. We call upon all to address the deadly effects of corruption on peace and human security and enforce actions to stop corruption as a precursor and trigger of conflicts, and as an obstacle to peaceful and fair solutions.
Build an ethical global economy. Unethical businesses contribute to our current global threats. We call on leaders of integrity in the business sector to use their power to promote fairness. We will support them to intensify their work in advancing a business culture based on integrity and transparency, and to further promote collective action to achieve a sustainable, equitable, and prosperous world economy where accountability fosters better businesses.
Leverage technology to find corruption. Technological advancements, while offering immense opportunities for good, also pose unprecedented integrity risks. We commit ourselves to work together to harness the positive power of the latest tech innovations to accelerate the race against corruption. This will include showcasing the best examples of tech-fueled anti-corruption initiatives and equipping our global movement with the knowledge to maximize the power of technology to fight corruption.
Uphold the principles of democracy and human rights. The global multilateral system, with its emphasis on universal values of freedom, equality, and solidarity, is under siege. We call upon all to protect the fundamental rights and dignities of people worldwide against the ambitions of the corrupt. with a focus on vulnerable groups. We commit ourselves to strengthen our efforts to promote respect for the human rights of all people, especially in the face of rising kleptocracies and captured states, which are led by those responsible for corruption and repression.
Stop the flows of dirty money. Illegally obtained wealth perpetuates poverty, insecurity, and violations of human rights, while weakening democratic institutions, thus contributing to democratic backsliding. Corruption schemes are often transnational and depend upon the international financial system to transfer money across borders. We call upon all to stop the flow of dirty money from its origins to its intended havens. Let us work together to close the loopholes in the global financial system that allow money laundering and payment of bribes. We must expose and hold to account the enablers of corruption, holding bankers, lawyers, accountants, and service providers to account for aiding the corrupt. We call upon all relevant authorities to collaborate to identify and recover illicitly acquired wealth and assets, and to repatriate stolen money to repair the damage caused to the victims of corruption.
Uncover complex corruption schemes. We stress the need for continuous training and capacity building programs to equip law enforcement agencies and anti-corruption authorities with the necessary skills and tools to uncover complex corruption schemes. Investing in cutting-edge forensic capabilities, data analytics, and financial intelligence is paramount to staying ahead of increasingly sophisticated methods employed by corrupt actors.
Elevate the work of leaders with energy, integrity, and passion. Revitalizing the fight against corruption requires energy, integrity, and passion to champion social justice. We aim to elevate the work of leaders who are igniting social movements with innovative approaches, fresh perspectives, and dynamic movements.
Collaborative action is key to success. There are no insurmountable obstacles for this brave and committed anti-corruption community. Together, we will all prevail.
We are grateful to the government and people of Lithuania, in particular the Special Investigation Service of the Republic of Lithuania, for hosting and supporting the 21st IACC. We look forward to continuing our cooperation to defend integrity and transparency.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So thank you very much to Veronica and Linas from the young journalists who are here on the fellowship. So with that text having been read, in the usual fashion that we do this, we'll ask for your endorsement if you're in agreement to the declaration as presented. And we'll do the usual fashion. I'll ask if we're in agreement, we can give this declaration a big round of applause. Thank you very much. I don't know how to do this. I would have wanted to say we continue with the conference, but unfortunately I have to play this role to officially declare this conference, IACC, 21st IACC, officially closed, although we still have a few workshops still running. And please don't forget, be at the music festival. You heard a bit of sample of that music festival. I will be there. Despite the leg, I will be dancing. So I would like to see you on the dance floor. And who knows, Peter Eigen may just play his saxophone. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ruben. I was trying to figure out how to end this exactly, but before you go, there are two very important questions that I wanted to ask. One, is there anyone in this room who all the time was thinking, why did they not thank me? should there be some, no, not me personally, but you, if there are some people who think that they should have been thanked and we didn't, let's thank them all now. Another very important question, do I understand correctly that this has been not just the best attended, but the most successful anti-corruption conference so far? Thank you for your endorsement. Do come to the Lukiškės prison in the evening. And then one other thing that I forgot to tell you when me and Ingrida were teaching you how to say ačiū. In Lithuanian, ačiū sounds like sneezing, sort of, in English. Apči. So every time you sneeze in your home countries, do remember the time you spent in Lithuania, but do remember it for the inspiration that you got from the conference too. Continue the very important work that you are doing. Ačiū so very much for being brilliant audience, and as Mr. Valérian said, we will win because we are united. So on that note, I'm going to end and wish you a safe journey home. Thank you so much.